we want to do these daily tasks. We know we have to do it. We feel we have to do it. We know this is right, but somehow we cannot. Stay with me, because in this video I will discover 5 reasons why we are self-sabotaging ourselves towards our most beautiful future. And as well, I will of course give you some tools how you can change it, and how you can block it, and how you can actually make these steps. Just let me see if the microphone is on. Yes, okay. So I want to tell you a story. When I was younger, I had a big dream to do this corporate, huge career and to work for one specific company. I had this vision that once I will get that work, my whole life will change. And of course, because it was a very prestigious company and every person dreamed to work there, and I dreamed about it as well. I got that job. Thanks to my following my intuition, my hard work. I got a job quite easily and smoothly. And even though I negotiated very good condition for me, I could still work a little bit, from the home. And in that time, I also started around the time my relationship. And now I know it would, now I little bit see that as my unconscious self-sabotage for me not to actually go to that career job and to do this huge career, international career. It was always my dream, because I have a lot of conflicted limiting beliefs by them. I had the limiting beliefs that true love and the woman can only be in the relationship, happy relationship, where there is a lot of struggle, a lot of pain, and the woman needs to stay home, cannot do a career. There was a lot of conflicting beliefs, subconscious limiting belief that came from our parents. And now there are even researchers confirm that are confirming that actually we inheriting after our parents, grandparents, and so on, trauma in our DNA code. So this is not like your father, mother will say, "Oh, now you're adult, you're responsible." So they are kind of responsible too, if they didn't do their job before they have you. So unfortunately, is the responsibility as well what is happening to you, but also a lot of other people and a lot of other generations, and a lot of there's a soul as well journey. So this is my opinion, that at that point I helped myself to be in the relationship, because at some point I wanted to self-sabotage myself from going there. So it was kind of protective strategy for me. Okay, story short, I negotiated, I got it, and I had so extreme stress. I just couldn't do it, and I didn't understand why. And I really didn't understand why. It took me, I don't know, 10 years to learn why. I wouldn't allow myself to go through this again. So I said to myself, I have to do everything what is possible to heal it fully, not to repeat this anymore, because it was kind of traumatic time of my life, because I moved out from home, then my parents ran the place, I couldn't go back there, so I moved out to a different city, and I was living by then with my ex-boyfriend, but then I was so unhappy, and I found a job that was not fulfilling, not right for me, in a smaller company. I didn't like the job, and I was so very unhappy. And of course, we broke up. And then I moved out even from that city again. So I would move by then like 4 or 5 times. I was far from my family. My family also didn't understand the situation, that would tell me that I didn't want to go there. So now I have to deal with everything myself, which was not fair because I really wanted to go there, but my body, my system, my unconscious, my self-saboteur, unconscious, would not allow me to do that. This is why the people also procrastinate. They know they have to do it, but they don't do it. And this is so much connected with all the things I will tell you right now, because this is not only about the job, it's also about health, money, relationship, because we self-sabotage unconsciously to the point that this known for the nervous system and the body. And if it's known for the nervous system and the body that you struggle, that you small, that you have a painful toxic relationship, so your body unconscious system, I would call it, a conscious system that includes body, mind, nervous system, and many other things, will self-sabotage. There's another case. I was traveling before I will give you another case before I will jump to why we are doing it and what you can do to actually, stop it. There's another case. I was planning with people a travel to Kilimanjaro. Just let me drink something. And there was one girl. They were flying from Warsaw. I would fly from Prague because I was living in the Czech Republic that time. And you would meet in Tanzania to start our Kilimanjaro trip. And, we were sharing all duties. Each person was bringing something. And for example, she was responsible for bringing certain types. There were doctors, antibiotics. And when you go on a Kilimanjaro, it's extremely important to have enough socks, because upstairs when you go up, it's like also sometimes -20 near summit, and during the way when you sweat, you cannot have any kind of sweat in your socks, so you have to change sweats even three times for 24 hours, not to frozen any of your fingers, because there was a case the guy couldn't go to the summit and he wanted to propose to the lady because he didn't have enough of socks. So I took care of it. She had also some special merino socks for me, 3 pairs. I had everything calculated. I prepared extremely professionally. And of course, I did the summit in a few days. Not everybody did from our group. And yeah, she was planning. And I remember I had a flight 1 hour after them. And she sent me a message that I don't think I can go. I thought, oh my God, this is a joke. I'm gonna now to worry for all the flight that she didn't go. But just something, I felt to call her, and I called her, and she answered the call during a time she's supposed to be in the airplane. I said, oh my God, no. And it was true. She didn't go there because it was too much for her. And she was prepared, and her suitcase was already in the airplane. In the last moment, she just back off. Okay, sometimes when there was the situation with these divers in Maldives, when you feel in the last moment no, it could be also your instinct and intuition. So I'm not judging. I don't know why she made this decision, but this is one of the situation how we can self-sabotage. We can self-sabotage by creating argument to end beautiful relationship just for reason, just without reason. How many people that they're creating arguments without actual reason, just to argue? And in this moment, you are not fighting with doing things right, or making or changing their behavior. You are fighting against their years of upbringing, that they started to be addicted for drama, addicted from stress, addicted from being unhappy. This is also our body addiction to certain emotion I'm adding is to this reason. Okay, now I want to tell you why five or now six reasons why we self-sabotage ourselves. Okay, so first reason why we self-sabotage, it is not necessarily self-sabotage. This is very interesting because sometimes anxieties and then this feeling I cannot do it, right? It is actually your intuition giving you sign that this is not for you, that this is wrong path, that there's a better one waiting around the corner. That also happened to me later. And this is very important to know how to, you know, understand where this is something heavy and we shouldn't do it because this is wrong direction. And when actually this is a self-sabotage for us not to grow and change our life. And I will, of course, tell you in the second part of this video about it. And I wish I had someone who could hold my hand, like a mentor who knows all these tools and knowledge like I have now, and help my customer to move forward and to understand them where is the like red stop and where is their self-sabotage and how to help them move towards their dream. I wish I had someone, even I was working with some coaches back then, but they didn't have this knowledge at all. So, and this is the knowledge that majority of the coaches might not have. So always when you start to work with someone, ask them question. Hey, do you know what is homeostasis? Do you know what is self-sabotage? Do you know there can be a difference between intuition saying no or your mind, actually creating this fuzz and everything for you not to move forward, right? So this is the first one. Your intuition is saying no and you just cannot do it. You just feel you cannot do it because it's not aligned, it's wrong. Then we have limiting belief system. I had tons of it. This is about my case now. So let's say that I had tons. For example, if you want to something spectacular happen in your life, you have to work extremely hard and must be very difficult. And actually, when I got this project, this job, everything went so easy. I was selling quite big solution and quite difficult to sell. But for me, this project were actually easy. I felt like a fish in the water by doing this kind of business. So he said, hey, it was too easy, right? So my system, something is wrong. Then I had tons of beliefs that I will not make it. And of course, people who were around, they would say that this is so difficult. You might struggle once you will work also from home in the beginning. And then I afraid that I will lose my, now the partner that I used to be with. And I had limiting beliefs that I will not make it. That I might hurt myself by going there because I will fail, and this might influence for my career, future potential. I started another pattern that is also sometimes unconsciously done by people. You unconsciously on purpose search few project that you won't take part in, not to decide on any. So I started to talk about different position at the same time that I thought maybe a different position will be easier for me because I sold more products of that second position. And in the end, it was a job I wanted. I always wanted to work for that position company to sell exactly this product. I love this product. I wrote the whole master thesis about this product, and I didn't go right because I had so much tons of belief that I will not make it, that I'm not enough, that I don't deserve to be there, that I'm nobody to be there, and I'm not enough smart to make it happen, and so on, so on, so on. And right? Oh my God, I even feel emotional right now. Because it's sad to have so many unconscious beliefs that are blocking you from achieving your highest potential. And these are illusions. from past life, from other people, from programming, what people say, what your mother told you, what your father told you, what your brother told you, and so on, so on, so on. Okay. Then we have something like body readiness. Let me pause it so I can drink it, or I will just drink it. Okay. Have some water. Is important to drink water because when you don't take care of your body will more self-sabotage you. Okay. Now we have body readiness. So, yes, mind and body are very connected. But sometimes you cannot heal all the trauma through the mind. There's a part in your brain that is holding different kind of trauma that can be cleared through body work. So not only you have to work on your unconscious limiting beliefs like I do with my customer, but as well you might need to do some body work, for example, somatic breath work, maybe jump, dance, do some movement, different kind of exercises to release. Body readiness, it's something when you want to do something and out of nowhere you feel, oh my God, I don't have an edge. Oh my God, I'm so paralyzed from stress. And this is as well to everyday procrastination, but as well this big project. So your body might create states that you're tired, that you feel these anxieties and fear, or will create fever out of nowhere. I had it when I wanted to go out on Friday after I moved here to this island to meet some people. It was too much for my body nervous system to add anything to my system. So my body would create every Friday evening a little temperature. So I said, oh my God, I'm again sick. And once I said, hey, come on, I am sick again on Friday evening. Let's test it. Why it is? So I went out and my body found, oh, okay, she's safe. It's not too much for us. And the body stopped. So it was my body protection for me not to take more for myself because it was in the time I took through a lot, right? And there was a lot of changes and a lot for nervous system. So I had to limit in the beginning until my body felt safe. The same as I started to train regularly, because I am a believer that once you do a special identity work and body readiness work like I do with my customers, there's not such a thing you have, force yourself to do something. Only identity work, and then your motivation is extremely natural. It's this is brilliant because I struggle with my own, not willingness to train or to go sleep early, and I changed it all thanks to my simple identity work I do also with my customers. So okay, so then we have a body readiness. It's connected to homeostasis, and I will take you in a second how you can stop it and how you can break this pattern. Then we have energetic readiness containers. This is very connected with money. So if your energetic containers feel safe with you having 5,000 a month, so every time you will be thinking or trying to exceed that, you can self-sabotage, just simple like that. Then we have, I would call it self-sabotage in general. That can have completely different form from different situation that you create unconsciously. You think that are like out of nowhere, but usually not. Usually you were some kinds unconsciously creating this whole situation, so you won't be successful. I know the story that one guy, he wanted to expand his company for foreign markets, but every time, and it was like for 5, 6, 7 years, every time he was trying to do that, he was not able to do it. Either he was sick, or there was a problem in the company, or problem with some business partners, or problem in traffic. And until they found the unconscious block, they remove it, and he was able to expand it. Because if you have some patterns, self-sabotaging patterns, until you will be aware of it. They will continue, 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 continue. And the last one is body addiction to certain types of emotions. As I said before, addiction to stress, addiction to drama, addiction to being not happy, because you have to teach your body that can be successful, can be happy, can be full of joy. Okay, and now we are going to the second part. And second part is about what we do with that. Because, for example, after I didn't go to that work, I was so miserable because I was having so little money for everything. I couldn't afford almost for anything. Every penny I had, I would spend on training, courses. I would apply to hundreds companies. I would send hundreds CVs. I would go travel abroad for interview to be rejected, to be rejected. Okay, I finally got a job that in different countries was even better. And probably is it is what's supposed to be, but it is not the story for everyone. But I was so miserable that I started to be sick because my nervous system, my hormonal system, my body just couldn't handle that whole situation, because it happened everything in the one moment. And I don't want this for anyone. That's why I have now these tools and this knowledge, and I'm sharing with you what you can do. Okay. If you don't understand this fully, get a coach like me or any other, but please ask them the question about if they know homeostasis, differences between intuition, and if they know all the things that I'm talking here and now, because otherwise they will not be able to help you. Like I used to work with them, I used to have variety coaches, and I'm a psychic. I know how to work with energy, with intuition, how to talk to my spiritual guides, and how to follow this psychic messaging and channel. And if you, a person like me and sensitive, you feel everybody else, and you have a coach who has no idea about all those things you are going through, or they're not open for it, they will not be able to help you on the highest level. Yeah. 25 years of researches on me, so I had multiple customers and a lot of references, and you can see all of them on my Facebook. A lot of references. Now how we test if this is alignment and intuition things. Body muscle test I would not recommend, because you have to be fully neutral and clean from other people's energy. This is also very advanced knowledge that other coaches should have before they advise you that. Alignment. You ask yourself question without thinking. First, okay, if this direction, this is what I want to do, is in alignment with my soul, with my goals, yes or no? If it's yes, then you do the rest. If you got a no, it means your intuition is telling you, no, this is the wrong direction. Okay, next. We are talking about situation when your intuition said, this is a good direction. This is going through my highest potential alpha mat path. So the timeline where is the most happiness, the most freedom, the most love. Because people think we can have to choose one, but we don't. We can have everything. But the path there is through following your intuition, right? Not necessarily logical path, because who would believe you can go from 10K to 100 million in 1 year? But there were cases like this, and people were working with energy. Okay, alignment is addressed. Then we have limiting beliefs. So then you ask yourself, okay, you list all the limiting beliefs, my fears connected to this goal. And next to this, you write the opposite one, and you ask yourself what is actually would be opposite. Because at this point, you have to choose. You can do clearing, energy work, NLP work all your life. But at some point, you will always have some limiting belief, and you will always have some, empowering belief. And if thoughts can make you sick, then the empowering thoughts can make you healthy. Like I had a problem with my ears so long, and one time I started to say, "No, my ear is healthy. No, my ear is healthy," and my ear started to heal. Like it was 1 2 days, it was healed. So because for your mind, that you have the biggest laboratory in your mind, in your brain, not in mind, in your brain, and for your mind, there's no difference if it's true or if it's false. You can start imagining your body fully healthy, and if you have some changes that they are perfectly working every cells. There was amazing book, How the Mind Can Influence the Body, and there were like researchers that people who would imagine their body being, the healing process, and it's like function like perfectly. The bones would recover, the people would recover after spines accidents where the doctors would say never, or they had like a cancer reverse situation. So there is a lot of this situation in the universe. So this was with limiting belief, to choose at some point where you want to add more energy. And every time you hear limiting belief, oh, that's not for me. What if actually I will be great? You have to find one empowering belief that is representing all this empowering belief. And this will be your repeat sentence all day long, all day long, all day long. You will rewrite the programming. Then we have body readiness. As I tested multiple things in my life, it's always the best to do, yes, mindfulness, breath work, but as well talk to your body. In the moment the body is stressed and is not allowing you to do, what's going on? What do you need from me? I had many situations when I really wanted to do, but my body told me, hey, I just need 2 hour daily rest. Otherwise, I will self-sabotage. And once you implement that, or once you take care of food or water, then your body will be more willing to stop self-sabotaging unconsciously you. But this is not all I want to say about it, because we are still at some point, this instinctive creature like animals, and this is normal. For example, I had ants in my home that I don't have anymore. All my focus at that moment went to stop ants coming into my home. You are like an animal. So if your body unconsciously know there is no enough water to drink in your home, or there's no enough food in your home, it will, not allow you to focus fully on the project, because uh, your mind function is for your survival. And then we have this energetic readiness and self-sabotage. This will be the last one, but before I will address body addiction from negative emotion. This is something what Joe Dispenza is talking a lot, and you have to be aware of it. Your body will try to revolt, revolt, self-sabotage to create, and by being aware, you are taking control over it, and it will just stop. Simply, it will just stop. So awareness, okay, and energetic readiness and self-sabotage in general. The best method I thought through all the years is just visualization and tuning into a feeling of not only complete this goal, but sometimes you can, for example, before you go sleep, you can imagine your day backward, how you were doing these things that you're afraid to do, but with easiness and calmness, and the same for the future. Thanks to this imagination, I was able to start waking up much more earlier and stop scrolling and stop wasting my time in the evening, and without force. It just happened naturally because I was just imagining myself, I was preparing my body, and I would naturally change my habits. And the same happened with me going, for example, to train. I would start to feel already as a successful, as a happy person, and then I started to say, hello, if I'm a successful and a happy and I have everything, then I need to take care of myself because I want to look great and I want to live long. So it happened naturally. But with evening visualization, by you doing this action that you procrastinate and afraid, that you are doing it and you are doing it with ease and calm, this is the most powerful, in my feeling, thing you can do. So this is everything what I wanted to share with you, and thank you for this time, and I hope you learn something that will help you to achieve your dreams easier. And if you want some support, just reach out to me. And yeah, I wish you all the best in achieving your dreams.